The tension in Cleveland has reached a breaking point. What started as a season filled with cautious optimism has now descended into frustration, finger-pointing, and confusion surrounding one man, head coach Kevin Stefanski. His unwillingness to give Shadur Sanders a real chance under center has become one of the most baffling decisions in the league. Week after week, fans watch the same scenario unfold: shaky quarterback play, questionable coaching decisions, and the same tired excuses about development and long-term vision. But that narrative is collapsing fast, because the Browns aren't in a position to think about the future. They're drowning in the present. In his most recent press conference, Stefanski once again leaned on his favorite talking point, player development. His words sounded rehearsed, almost mechanical, as he assured reporters that everything was part of a larger plan. He claimed to trust all of his players and want to set them up for success, but that trust doesn't seem to extend to Shadur Sanders. The young quarterback has been waiting for his opportunity, showing flashes of leadership and poise during practice, yet Stefanski refuses to even entertain the idea of giving him a real shot. The decision has left fans scratching their heads, wondering why this supposed genius of player development won't take the leap with one of the most talented prospects on his roster. The Browns' situation is becoming dire. Their offense has been inconsistent, the chemistry between the quarterback and receivers feels non-existent, and the locker room morale is slipping. Despite this, Stefanski continues to hide behind the same defensive answers, talking about patience and progress while ignoring the obvious truth. Fans can see it. Analysts can see it. Even the players are starting to sense the disconnect. The organization is trapped in a cycle of mediocrity, and Stefanski's refusal to adapt might be the anchor dragging them down. The hypocrisy of it all hasn't gone unnoticed either. While Stefanski claims Shedeur isn't ready for the spotlight, he's been more than willing to give snaps to players like Quinshon Judkins, who didn't even have a full training camp under his belt. Judkins, to his credit, has performed admirably under pressure. But it raises an obvious question. If Judkins can step up and deliver when the team needs him most, why can't Shedeur? It's becoming painfully clear that this isn't about readiness, it's about preference. Stefanski's loyalty to his current quarterback rotation, no matter how ineffective it's been, is beginning to feel less like strategy and more like stubbornness. Even respected analysts are calling it out. Dan Orlovsky, known for his level-headed takes, couldn't hide his frustration during his latest segment. He called it deeply disappointing that Shadur Sanders hasn't even been named the QB2, especially in a season that was supposed to be about evaluation and growth. Orlovsky reminded viewers that this was the year to figure out whether players like Dillon or Shedeur could be the future of the franchise. Instead, it's become a wasted opportunity filled with indecision and mixed signals. His comments weren't just criticism, they were a wake-up call to the Browns' ownership and management. If it's not Shedeur, he said pointedly, then what are we doing here? And honestly, that's the question every Browns fan is asking. What's the plan? What's the endgame? Because right now it feels like the team is spinning in circles, too afraid to commit to a new direction, too stubborn to admit that the current one isn't working. Fans aren't just disappointed, they're angry. They're watching their team implode from the inside, and they know that the fix is sitting right there on the bench wearing number 2. But amidst all this chaos, a new twist has emerged, one that could change everything. Stephen A. Smith, never one to hold back, dropped a bombshell on his show this week that sent shockwaves through the NFL conversation. According to him, NBA superstar Damian Lillard, yes, that Damian Lillard, has reportedly suggested that the Las Vegas Raiders make a move to acquire Shadur Sanders. Lillard, a lifelong Raiders fan from Oakland, has seen enough of the current disaster under center and believes Sanders could be the answer. Now, at first glance, it might sound wild. But when you look at the state of the Raiders' quarterback situation, it actually makes a lot of sense. Their offense has been erratic, the leadership uninspired, and the turnovers piling up. Geno Smith, who was supposed to steady the ship, has thrown 9 interceptions already this season. The Raiders fans are losing patience, and Lillard's suggestion might just be the bold spark the franchise needs. Stephen A. couldn't agree more. He called the idea perfect, and even went as far as to say it could be one of the most memorable trades in recent NFL history. Stephen A. described Shadur Sanders as a player made for the spotlight, a quarterback who doesn't just handle pressure but thrives under it. He talked about Sanders' charisma, his calm under fire, and that magnetic energy that makes players want to rally around him. It's the kind of praise that isn't handed out lightly, and it's not hard to see why people believe Sanders could bring a spark to any struggling team. "I don't know how good he's going to be," Stephen A. admitted, "but I believe in that brother. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Las Vegas under the bright lights." If there's even a grain of truth to these whispers, the Browns could be facing a massive dilemma. Because if Shadur Sanders does get traded, if the Raiders or any other team swoops in and gives him the opportunity Cleveland refused, it will haunt this franchise for years. The message it would send to the rest of the league, especially to young, talented players, would be devastating. That Cleveland doesn't believe in its own prospects. That it's a place where potential goes to die, and the worst part? It's all preventable. Stefanski has the power to change this narrative right now. All he has to do is give the kid a chance. Let him step onto the field, take command of the offense, and show what he can do. Even if he struggles, at least it proves that the Browns are willing to bet on their future instead of clinging to a crumbling present. But if Stefanski keeps Shedeur chained to the sideline, he won't just be stunting one player's development, he'll be damaging the entire organization's credibility. There's still time to fix this. The Browns' season isn't over yet, and hope isn't completely gone. But that hope is fading fast, and every week that Shedeur remains benched only adds fuel to the frustration burning through Cleveland. Fans are losing faith, analysts are turning up the pressure, and other teams are circling like sharks, waiting for their chance to snatch the young quarterback away. Kevin Stefanski is playing a dangerous game. He can keep pretending that patience is the plan, that the process takes time, but the reality is brutal. He's running out of time. Because in the NFL, perception matters. And right now, the perception is that Cleveland doesn't know what it's doing. So here's the real question. Will Stefanski swallow his pride and give Shadur Sanders his shot before it's too late? Or will he double down on his stubbornness and risk losing one of the most promising young quarterbacks in the league? Because if Shedeur walks, and all signs point to that possibility, it won't just be another bad headline. It will be the defining failure of Stefanski's tenure. What do you think, Browns fans? Is Kevin Stefanski making a colossal mistake by keeping Shedeur on the sidelines? Should the team finally give him the chance he deserves before another franchise does? And if the Raiders actually pull off a trade, what would that mean for the future of Cleveland football? Drop your thoughts down below. Let's get the conversation started. And if you love diving deep into the drama behind the game, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a story. Because in the NFL, the real action doesn't just happen on the field, it happens right here when the truth comes out.